Shrestha manamapi Vishati putram Atra surupam Rupam tasagrajamuripurim Maturim Goswatim Radha Kundamagirivaram Ahoradika Amarvasam Rabdo Yasan Pratita Kripaya Shri Guru Tam Natos Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tarale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya Hema Padivyascha Visundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bhaktya Vina Aparada Lakshay Jivashta Kamaditorangamadya Kripa Maitvam Sharanam Prapanam Vrinde Namase Charandaravindam Vrinde Namase Charandaravindam Govinda Damo Daramadaviti Govinda Damo Daramadaviti Govinda Damo Daramadaviti Govinda Damo Daramadaviti Hey Krishna Hey Yadava Hey Saketi Govinda Damo Daramadaviti Navajalatagatra Nilasonabjanetro Mrigamanavaravalo Malati Kundamalo Tarala Taruna Vesho Nilapitambaresho Smarane Britani Kunje Radhika Krishna Chandro Smarane Britani Kunje Radhika Krishna Chandro Sham Sundar Skanda Shekhar Svahas Murali Manohara Radhika Rasikam Mama Kripanidhe Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Tavai Vasmi Najivami Taya Vina Jivigyaya Devi Tam Nayamam Charantikam. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadaya Paramarada Tama Guru Pada Padma, Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnuvad, Ashtotara Satasi Srimad, Rupanugacharya Varya, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Vanchakalpatarubhasya, Kripa Sindhubhyavata, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo. Perhaps you know that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a very learned scholar. He had so many hundreds of disciples. Even sannyasis were his disciples. And he had such a formidable memory, intelligence and reputation. But when our Sri Satyanandan Gauhari arrived in Jagannath Puri, he could not recognize who he was. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's brother-in-law, Gopinath Acharya, said, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Sri Krishna himself. The Parama Tattva, supreme truth. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, oh please, don't be sentimental. What is the Praman in the scripture? And Gopinath Acharya gave so many important verses from Shastra which indicate that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself who has appeared in this Kali Yuga to fulfill his own secret desires and to spread the Yuga Dharma, that is the religious process for this age, the chanting of the holy names, and through the chanting of the holy names to give very confidential service of Radhika in the kunjas of Braja. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was not convinced. So Gopinath Acharya said, you cannot understand that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is God unless God himself gives you just a little bit of mercy. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, oh, well, hold on there. Don't be insulting. You're saying I don't have any the mercy, but what's the proof that you have some mercy? Gopinath Acharya said, Athapi te deva padambujam dvaya prasad leishanu grihit evahi janati tatvam bhagavan mahimno. That Nachani may kopi chiran vichinvan. He said, Lord Brahma has said, someone may study the Vedas for hundreds of years, but he will not be able to understand God unless and until he is graced by just a slight trace of the Lord's mercy. Then he can understand. Before, he may have thought that there was no God, or that God is impersonal, or some force everywhere. But to understand that Krishna is Supreme Lord, then some mercy has to be in that person's life. So Gopinath Acharya was also saying in the same way that when a person deeply, they have the faith and they realize that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than the son of Nanda Maharaj, imbued with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radhika, then that is the sign that that person has received mercy of Krishna. So, some of you may be wondering, in my life, did I receive any mercy? But if you have faith that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, already some mercy has come into your life. So how fortunate you are. Because there are many persons, they have not understood this fact yet. Or they have heard it but they don't believe it, they have some doubt. So all of you who are singing and dancing and going here and there, always visiting Navadip Dham, Puri Dham and chanting Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Gaura Hari, 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 Oh Jaya Sachinandana Jaya Gaura Hari, Jaya Because this conviction, this vishwas, this unflinching confidence that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Lord, it will only come in the heart of the person who has received some divine grace, some blessings. Now, once you accept Sachinandan Gohari, Sachisunu, Nandishwarapate Sutatve Gurubaram, that he's Krishna himself, then that's just the beginning of the mercy. That's only the beginning. Because those who are under the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for them he has brought a treasure to this world that was previously kept in a safe and locked. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought the treasure of Prem to this world, the greatest love. And he kept the key with Srila Rupa Goswami. Yan Kali Rupa Sharanta Darata Tan Braja Prema Mahanidhi Kutrika Kona Kapatu Udgharata. If Srila Rupa Goswami had not appeared in this world, then even though Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bought the great treasure of Prem here, but it was under lock and key. But Srila Rupa Goswami, being inspired by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, opened that and began to distribute. So once you have developed your nishta in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, then the next stage is to make a strong nishta and sambandha relationship with Srila Rupa Goswami's lotus feet. Yesterday, we discussed how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar Goswami, they were watching on the 5th day of Rath Yatra, the Hera Panchami festival. And they had a discussion. Sava Sharat Kavyakata Rasasraya. About how in Krishna's Leela, all the beautiful nuances of different loving exchanges, all the components of rasa that kavis, poets have described, are there but fully manifest in perfection in Sri Krishna's Vrindavan Leela. So as this conversation was going on, Srivas Thakur wanted to join in. So Srivas Thakur said, "Look at the opulence of my Lakshmi Devi. My Lakshmi Devi is so opulent. She sits on a golden throne surrounded by so many servants with so much wealth and power. But your gopis of Vrindavan, what do they do? What is the opulence of Vrindavan? Just a few flowers and twigs and leaves and gunja berries and peacock feathers. That's all. My Lakshmi Devi is like the queen of the universe. And the gopis, what are they doing? Milking cows? Churning yogurt? Boiling milk? So just see, my Lakshmi Devi is so wonderful. So much opulence. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Oh, don't bring this subject up in front of Swarup Damodar Goswami. Because he's a Shuddha Brijbasi. He's in the pure mood of Braja. He does not know even the meaning of the word opulences. He's just interested in the sweetness of Vrindavan." So Damodar Goswami said, "Well, excuse me, I beg to differ. It must be said that just one speck of dust of Vrindavan is like an ocean of opulence. And all the opulences of Vaikuntha and Dwarka and Mathura cannot be even compared to one drop in the ocean of the opulences of Vrindavan." Because it's true that in Vaikuntha there are some Chintamani jewels, wish-fulfilling jewels. It's true. But in Vrindavan, every speck of dust is Chintamani. The land is totally made of Chintamani. We cannot say that that is true of Vaikuntha. The gopis of Vrindavan, their feet are decorated with the Chintamani. Not only that, it's true that there are desire trees in Vaikuntha, but in Vrindavan, even the small insignificant weed has the power of a kalpavriksha tree. In Vrindavan, though it's a cowherd village, all of these cows are kamadhenus. They can fulfill all desires. But the Brijbas is never, they're so happy, they never ask anything from those kamadhenus. They don't even ask them for milk. They labor to squeeze the milk out themselves by hand. Then they boil the milk, and they make yogurt, then they churn the yogurt to make butter. And you can go to Kamadhenu and just say, you can have some butter and butter. But they go through all this working process. Because they're so happy. They don't want anything from the Kamadhenus. In the Vaikuntha, on each Vaikuntha planet there's one Lakshmi Devi. But in Vrindavan there are millions of Lakshmi Devis. All the gopis, they're all actually the origins of Lakshmi of Vaikuntha. So then he quoted a verse. Sriya kantaha kantaha paramapushadva kalpataravo druma bhumis chintamayi ganamayi toyamamritam nat gagganam natyam gamanam miyapatmam si priyasaki chidanandam jyoti param apicha aswadya apicha. In the Brahma Samhita, it is said there that in Vrindavan all the water is sweeter than nectar. The ordinary talking of the people is so wonderful, it seems like song. And just the ordinary walking of the people seems to be like a ballet. Beautiful dancing. So the meaning is, if their ordinary talking is as beautiful as singing, what is their singing like? And if their ordinary walking looks like a beautiful dancing, then what is their dancing like? No one can say. So, when Swarup Damodar Goswami was cutting the arguments of Srivas Thakur, Mahaprabhu had said, "Oh Srivas, you are in the mood of Narad. So you are affected by the Lord's opulences, but Swarup Damodar is a pure Basi. But now, after hearing the glories of Braja, then Swarup Damodar Goswami, after he'd spoken in this way, Srivas Thakur was laughing and going, What does it mean? It means that the origin of Narad Muni in Vaikuntha is actually Madhumangal in Vrindavan. So Narad is a perfect Brahmin, very well behaved, everything. In Vaikuntha where there's opulence. And in Braj, his origin is also a Brahmin, but his behavior is not always exactly Brahminical. So Madhumangal, his service is to make Krishna laugh. So he always tells jokes during prasadam and makes sounds like this. Krishna takes prasadam twice a day in Nandagan. So, but the difference is, one time Nanda Maharaj is there. So then Madhumangal's jokes, they're not so rude as the ones when Nanda Maharaj is not there. So, in this way, Mahaprabhu and his associates, they were deeply sinking into the nectar of bliss by comparing the Aishwarya of Vaikuntha with the Madhurya of Braja. But, in the course of their conversation, it has been revealed that it's not that there's Aishwarya, opulence in Vaikuntha, and only sweetness in Vrindavan, but Vrindavan has more opulence. But the sweetness is so intense that the people there don't even notice it. They don't even notice it. So, Krishna, the essence of God is Madhurya, his sweetness. Mahaprabhu told Srila Sanatana Goswami, Madhurya Bhagavata Sa Braje Koilo Paracha Taha Sukha Vyasera Nandana Taha Sukha Vyasera Nandan Stane Stane Bhagavate Vani Achi Janaite Tashuni Mate Bhaktagan. Madhurya Bhagavatasa. The essence of Bhagavan, Godhood, is this sweetness. And that sweetness, Vrajikoila Paracha, is only propagated, manifested in Braja. So, Tahashuka Vyasarandan, the son of Vyasadev, Shukadev Goswami, then Stani Bhagavate, in different places in Srimad Bhagavatam, Vanyachi Janite, he's described this sweetness and made it known to the devotees. Tahashuni Mate Bhaktagan. And when the devotees hear about the sweetness of Sri Krishna, as Shukadev Goswami has expressed in Srimad Bhagavatam, then the devotees become mad. They become completely intoxicated. So what is the sweetness of Sri Krishna? The definition of sweetness is not the absence of Aishwarya, opulence. Aishwarya means Ishwarata, the quality of being the controller. Ish means having capability. So Aishwarya means when Sri Krishna is manifesting capability beyond that of any human being or demigod. And also, he gives up his mood of being like a human child. Then Krishna is manifesting his Aishwarya Bhav. And Madhurya means whether or not Krishna is manifesting his superhuman powers, but his own mood and his own behavior is never Nara Lilatva An Atikrama. This is called Nara Lilatva Anatikrama. Nara Lila means playing like a human being. So Nara Lilatva means the quality of playing like a human being. And Atikram means to transgress that. So Madhurya means opulence may be manifest, or opulence is there but not manifest. But Krishna is Naralilatva Anatikrama. He is not transgressing the behavior or the mood of an ordinary human being. So for example, when Putana came to kill Krishna, she has a strength of 60,000 elephants in her arms. She's so powerful. But Krishna, to kill her or to liberate her, that's great power, that's great Aishwarya. Any human being couldn't do it. But at the same time, he just sucked her breast like a baby. So his behavior did not transgress the human-like behavior, but opulence was manifest. So that Leela is still Madhurya. It's a Madhurya Leela. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Harinama tu aneka swarup Bhutanagata Trinavartana Shakata Banjana Gopal He say, oh Harinam, you have so many swarups. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is expressing his realization when he was chanting Harinam. He saw Putana take baby Krishna in her arms, and just by the touch of his lips, he didn't really suck even. Just by the touch of his lips, his life air began to come out. And she immediately assumed a huge form 12 miles high, and then crashed down on the border between Braj and Mathura, and destroyed a big garden of Kamsa Maharaj. And when the Brijbasis came and they saw this huge form, Krishna Ji was just crawling around on her chest, which was like a big mountain. Just like an innocent child. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was chanting Harinam, and he saw, though there's vast opulence manifesting, great power, but Krishna is so madhurya. So very, very sweet and childlike. So chant Harinam. Chant lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of Harinam. And then now we'll show you this beautiful Leela. Putanagatana Trinavartahan Shakat Banjan. You know that Shakatasur, he was a very powerful demon. And the cart that Krishna was under was not like you think of a cart, right? Like a wheelbarrow or something. It wasn't like that. It was as big as a house. It's like we said the other day when the Brijbasis went in their bullock carts to Ambika. In Ambika van, they were like 2-story recreational vehicles, RVs. So the Shakatasura, this cart was as big as a house. And then, more or less on the first story of the house, then there was a cradle hanging from golden ropes. And Krishna was in that cradle and it was swinging. And there were tassels, silk tassels hanging down, because, you know, where a baby's in a cradle, you have to have things hanging down that he can kick his arms and legs and play with them. So this celebration was going on because one maidservant went into Krishna's room that day in the morning, and baby Krishna was lying on his side, and she went and she ran. Oh, Yashoda, Yashoda, Yashoda. What happened? What happened? Krishna rolled onto his side all by himself. You see? People who are into Aishwarya, they say, God is amazing. He's omnipotent, all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-pervading. But those who are in the mood of sweetness is, oh my God! He rolled onto his side all by himself. Let's have a celebration! This is Madhurya. So then they made a big celebration. Madhya Yashoda kept Krishna on this cart. It was very big. And Shakatasura entered into it and began to push it down. And the wheels were sinking into the ground. He wanted to crush Krishna. But Krishna, he liberated Shakatasura. That's very great power. But how did he do it? He was just lying on his back, kicking his toes, and his toe touched the cart, and it went directly up into the air, straight up. The whole house on wheels went straight up into the air, turned over, and came crashing out upside down. And the spokes of the wheels were broken, and all the utensils went everywhere. And the Brijbasis, they were crying, "Where's Krishna? Where's Krishna?" And they came and they found him underneath the cart, very happily, just smiling and kicking his tail. So there was great power. It was miraculous that he survived. They prayed to Lord Narayan. Oh, thank God, thank Lord Narayan that the child is safe. So this is the Madhurya. The opulence is manifest. Now another thing which is also quite astonishing, a nuance of Aishwarya and Madhurya, is that Krishna generally in Braja even he doesn't know that he's God. By the influence of the Leela Shakti Yoga Maya, Krishna thinks, I am the son of Yashoda. But whenever it's necessary, when it's needed, the Leela Shakti will also reveal his Bhagavata to himself. So that's really fun. You know? No, if you're like 5 years old and then suddenly you realize that you're God, wow. But then, you know, children, they forget everything. Afterwards he forgets. So, when Lord Brahma came to Braj and tried to steal away Krishna's friends and his calves, then the Leela Shakti inspired Krishna, and Krishna immediately knew what was going on. Oh, that Chaturmukh Brahma, the topmost demigod in the whole universe, thinks he can trick me. No chance. So then Krishna, he expanded himself and he became replicas of all the boys. And he became replicas of all the calves as well. So then when Brahmaji saw them, he was thinking, but I stole them. How come they're still here? And as Lord Brahma was looking on, then Krishna in all of those forms manifested 4-armed Vishnu forms. So here we have a situation. Lord Brahma is looking at Krishna and he's actually seeing Krishna manifest thousands and thousands of Vishnu forms, served by all thousands of different demigods. So Krishna's manifesting massive, massive opulences. It was just too much for Brahma's 4 heads were all exploding. He fainted, he just couldn't assimilate, he couldn't accommodate what he was seeing in his puny little consciousness, which is so powerful it actually created the second creation of this whole universe. But Krishna was standing there like a 5-year-old boy, just minding his own business. So here we have Krishna. On the one hand, he's manifesting unfathomable opulences. He's also omniscient and he knows that he's God. And he knows everything that Brahma is trying to do. He can't be bewildered even by the topmost demigod. But at the same time, he's acting like a little boy. It's Madhurya. It's still Madhurya. Why? Because Naralila Twa an Atikrama. Naralila Twa an Atikrama. Because in his behavior, he did not transgress the human-like activities. So even that, there is the Madhurya there. Yes, yes, same. When he drinks the fire also.
But it's not human.
Yeah, but he drank it just like a lassi. A very cool mango lassi. Actually, some acharyas say, though it said that Krishna drank the fire, actually he blew it out. He went like that, it went out. So sometimes he said, but actually he blew it out. So, this is Krishna's Madhurya. Krishna's Madhurya is only manifest to its fullest degree when he is in the company of his devotees who have Madhurya Bhav. That means, I'm not speaking about Madhur Rasa, but Madhurya Bhav, that means the devotees themselves are devoid of any conception of his opulence. And even if they see it, they're unaffected by that. It doesn't weaken, it doesn't make Shitila Prem. Their feeling that he's my friend, or he's my son, or he's my beloved, is completely unaffected by that. So, Krishna's fullest sweetness is only manifest in the association of devotees who have that Madhurya, natural human-like relationship with him. And especially among Krishna is most beautiful among the gopis. So, all the devotees who have Prem actually control him. And therefore, the more he is controlled by the love of the devotee, the more sweet and human-like Krishna's behavior is. The more vulnerable he becomes. Already it's Krishna's nature. You know, in Bhagavad Gita, and we saw in the drama today, this point was made so beautifully. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, Patram, Pushpam, Palam, Toyam, Yome Bhaktya Prayachati, Tadaham Bhakti Paritam Ashnami Prayatatmanaha. If one offers me with bhakti, with devotion, a leaf, a fruit, a flower, or some water, then I accept it. What is the essence of this verse? The essence of this verse is that Sri Krishna has lalana icha. Lalana icha. Lalana icha is lalanecha. Lalanecha means Krishna desires to be pampered. To be pampered. There's got to be a Russian word for pampering. Yes, Madhavi will know. Pampering?
I'm not sure how to say
Pampering means when a person is caring about another person in a very doting way and just trying to see to all of their comforts. And it will also include feeding them, dressing them, bathing them, caressing them. Just like a mother does to the child, she pampers the child, giving the best bed and the best cushions and the best fragrance in the air. All of these things, this is all pampering. Actually, the main context in which you hear these words these days is a woman says, I want to go to a spa and pamper myself. Right? So you understand what pampering means. Just you get all the best luxuries and really enjoy. So, that Krishna has lalana icha means that Krishna desires to be pampered by his devotees. That's the essence of this verse. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. And therefore, see Krishna, he makes himself completely dependent upon his devotees so he can just feel the pleasure of being pampered. Right? This is like Krishna when he's playing in the forest, he gets a bit tired, he starts to yawn. Immediately the boys, they make a nice bed of leaves, and Krishna lies down with his head in the lap of one boy, another boy sits down and massages his feet, another boy fans him with some palm leaves, another boy sings a lullaby, beautiful song for him so he can fall asleep like this. They all want to pamper him, and Krishna wants to be pampered. So that's called lalanicha. So Madhya Yashoda is always pampering Krishna, and especially the gopis, and especially Radharani also pampering Krishna to fulfill every desire, even desires he doesn't know that he has. She inspires new desires in him and then fulfills those as well. So because she worships him by the fulfillment of all his desires, her name is Radha. Radha means aradhana, to serve, to worship. But her aradhana consists of fulfilling all of his desires for the lalanicha, to be pampered. You see? So especially the manjaris, the maidservants. Oh, this is they really, they are the epitome of this. Because when Radhika herself becomes tired from her loving pastimes with Krishna, then she cannot even lift a finger. So then who's going to pamper? Who's going to pamper him? So then the manjaris come into the kunj and they massage the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna, give them tambul and fan them with jamaras and everything. Smear sandalwood paste on their bodies. Oh. So, Krishna, though he's all-powerful, in the presence of Prem, he becomes helpless. But we cannot say that his power and opulence is not there anymore. If we give the example of Lord Brahma, if Lord Brahma tries to show his opulence in front of Krishna, he actually becomes completely powerless. Why? Because the powers of Brahma are not his. Yadyat vibhutimat sattvam shrimad urjitameva. That all the opulences, whatever you say anywhere, they're actually Krishna's. And if someone else has any opulence, it's just borrowed from Krishna. So when Brahma tries to show his opulence in front of Krishna, his mystic power by trying to steal the boys, then actually he becomes completely powerless. So it's said that the power of Brahma, na tishtati. Tishtati means standing. His power cannot stand. It's just not there anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. But when Krishna is in the presence of the devotees who have love, then we cannot say that his powers and opulence, na tishtati, no longer exist. Because they are the integral part of his swarup. So all we can say is they've become tirohit. There's a tirubhav. That means, like a Vaishnava, we celebrate their tirubhav. It means disappearance festival. Doesn't mean that they're dead. It means that they're still there, but just we can't see them. That is a tirubhav. So there's a tirubhav of Krishna's opulences to such a degree that even if he wants to show them, he can't. He becomes helpless. So Srila Rupa Goswami described a beautiful pastime that once at Govardhan, near Govardhan, near Chandra Sarovar, the Rasa Leela was going on. So then Krishna, he's very Paramakautaki. He's very curious. He always wants to know, if I do this, what will happen? So he thought, if I just suddenly hide from all the gopis, what will they do? So Krishna suddenly disappeared from the Rasa Leela and the gopis were searching for him everywhere. So Krishna was hiding in one kunj and he was seeing what the gopis were doing. And then he saw some group of gopis were coming and they were surrounding him on all sides. So he thought they may see me. But because now they're on all sides, all my escape routes have been blocked. I can't get away. And as they got closer and closer to where he was and there was no route to get out, Krishna thought, I'm just going to hide by manifesting a four-arm form. So then Krishna stood there and he manifested 4 arms and looked just like Narayan. So then some gopis saw, oh, Krishna's there, and they came closer and they thought, oh, it's not Krishna, it's Lord Narayan. So they just bowed down to him. Oh Lord Narayan, please help us find the son of Nanda Maharaj. And then they continued to search for him, here and there. But then, Srimati Radhika approached. And Krishna thought, before he was quite confident, I tricked them. Good, I tricked them. Now I'll trick Radhika. But as Radhika approached, then 2 arms disappeared. In other words, Krishna by his will, he willed, I want to show this Aishwarya. But his Aishwarya Shakti did a Tirubhav festival. Just disappeared. And Krishna was just left standing there like just an ordinary human being with 2 hands holding the flute. So this pastime is very, very deep. We should understand it in this way. There are different levels of Prem. So the first level is called Paramanu Matra. Paramatra Matra. That means only an atom of Prem. Only a little bit of bhakti. Not actual Prem, but just a little bit of bhakti. That is the love of the devotees who haven't attained the stage of bhav yet. They haven't attained rati yet, but they have some bhakti. That is called Paramanu Matra. So because in that level of bhakti, Prem is the Durlaksha. Durlaksha means it's hardly detectable. So because the Prem is hardly detectable, so then the way in which Krishna is controlled by their bhakti, Krishna's subordination to that devotee is also durlaksha, hardly detectable. Krishna has some inclination towards him, but the subordination to that devotee is hardly detectable, as the devotee's prem is hardly detectable. All prem, Aham Bhakta Paradino, all prem makes Krishna subordinate, but there are degrees of subordination. So, then, the next level is called Nyuna Adik Apekshik Mai Prem. Nyuna Adik Apekshik Mai Prem means that depending on the circumstances, the love of that devotee is sometimes more and sometimes less. So the examples are Narad Muni, Uddhav, Arjun, Vasudeva and Devaki. All of these persons, when Sri Krishna manifests his opulence, their love becomes somewhat less. The power of their love becomes somewhat less. And when Krishna doesn't manifest his opulence, then their love increases. So the example is in Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna showed the universal form to Arjun, then Arjun became afraid and began to pray, "Please forgive me." Vasudeva and Devaki also. When Krishna killed Kamsa Maharaj and then released them from their shackles, their imprisonment, then Vasudeva and Devaki were standing with folded hands, praying, because their Krishna, who had appeared as like their son, but not actually, they were seeing his Ishvara because he just manifests huge opulence in killing Kamsa, of whom all the demigods were afraid. They were afraid of Kamsa. So they were standing with folded hands. But then when Krishna came, it was Krishna's desire to be like a child in the lap of his parents. So when he bowed down to them, they were really nervous. Oh, God's bowing down to us. What do we do now? They didn't know what to do. They're just standing there trembling. And they never thought, he's my son. How can he be our son? Atamaja, born from our body. No, everything, Janma, Dyasya, Yata, everything is born from his body. But because Krishna had the desire, the lal and icha, the desire to be fondled, so then Yoga Maya covered them. And they then forgot about Krishna's opulence and they took Krishna lovingly in their laps. So that is called Apekshik Nyun Adik Mai Prem. Apekshik means dependent, and dependent on the circumstances, sometimes less and sometimes more. Apekshik Nyun Adik Mai Prem. So then the next level of Prem is called Mahan, great Prem. So the Mahan, the great Prem, means the love of the Brijbasis. Because their Prem is Sampurna, complete, therefore Krishna's Adinata is complete. That means their love is complete. So Krishna's Adinata, that means the subordination to them. He becomes subordinate to them. So Krishna is always trying to please and serve the Brijbasis. That's what everything he's doing in Braj, running here and there from house to house, stealing butter, playing his flute, going into the forest at night, and so on. Everything he's doing is to please all the Brijbasis. God exists just to give happiness to them, because he's completely subordinate to their Mahan Prem. But though their Prem is Sampurna, complete, and so his Adinata is complete, but it's not absolute. There's a difference between complete and absolute. Complete is Sampurna, and absolute is Atyantik. So, and because their love is complete, and his subordination is complete, but not Atyantik. Therefore, absolute Therefore, sometimes Krishna can manifest opulence in front of the Brajbasis. Just like when Nanda Maharaj was captured by a servant of Varuna, Shankachuda actually, had captured Nanda Maharaj. Then Nanda Maharaj went to Varuna Lok. He was taken to Varuna Lok, and Krishna jumped into Jamuna and also went there. And Nanda Maharaj saw Varuna Dev offering arti to Krishna and offering prayers and glorifying him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Krishna manifests his opulence before Nanda Maharaj in Varuna Lok. But, because the Brijbasis' love is so intense, that means swasambandha, anyanyasya, that their one-pointed relationship with Krishna is so strong, prabalya. This is called swasambandha, ananyasya, prabalyata. The strength of their one-pointed relationship to Krishna is so strong, even when Krishna manifests his opulence, then they have anusandan abhav. That means the absence of investigation. Anusandana means to investigate, abhav means absence. So even when Krishna does some big spectacular thing, the Brijbasis just kind of see it, but they don't wonder, well, how did that happen? How did he do that? Let's look behind with some strings or something attached to it. How are these special effects done? You know, if a magician does a trick, right, the whole audience are thinking, well, a magician cuts a box in half, you know, with a person in it. And then the feet are over here and the head is over here, and the person's thinking, maybe they're two dwarfs, right? Maybe there's a dwarf and his head is sticking out and there's another dwarf with his feet. Everyone's trying to investigate, how did he do it, right? So that's called anusandan. But the Brijbasis, the prabalya, the strength of their love for Krishna is so intense that even when they see all the demigods worshipping him, not for a moment do they investigate, well, how did he do that? There's anusandan abhav. So another example is Madhya Yashoda. She got all the ropes in Braj, tied them together and tried to put them around the waist of Krishna, but it was always 2 inches too short. So that was Krishna manifesting. An impossible, achintya Shakti was manifest at that moment. But Madhya Yashoda never thought, well, how did he do that? Anusandana Bhav, because she's just fixed up. Harim Samanya Tatmajam. He's my baby, he was born from my womb. I'll discipline him and teach him a good lesson for being naughty and smashing the pots in my kitchen. Due to the intensity of the love. So, when the love is sampurna, the adinata, the subordination of Krishna is complete, but it's not adyantic, absolute. So sometimes he shows opulence in front of them, but the strength of their sambandha with him means that they don't investigate it. How beautiful! This is Braj Prem. Now, the love of Radharani is called Parama Mahan. So, what are the levels? First, Paramanu Matra. Then, the Apekshik Nyun Adik Mai Prem. Then Mahan. Now, Radhika's love is Parama Mahan. So, her love is not Sampurna complete. It's Sampurna Tama. That means there's no word in English, but if there were to be a word, it would be completest. The completest. So her love is Sampurna Tama. It is the completest love, and therefore her Krishna's adina to Radhika is Adyantika Dinata. He's completely subordinate to her, and this is why when Radhika approached Krishna, he wanted to show his opulence, but it was impossible. And there was a Tirabhav festival for his opulences, they all disappeared. That means they became invisible, even though Krishna wanted to show them. And therefore, Krishna is most sweet in the presence of the gopis, and among all the gopis, his madhurya is the fullest, manifest to the fullest degree. Sampurnatama. In the presence of Srimati Radhika. So, this Vrindavan Leela is amazing. Quite amazing. Why? Because when Krishna is with Radhika and the gopis in Rasa Leela, it is said Yogamayam Upasritaha. Krishna is completely taken shelter of Yogamaya. That means that now the Leela is totally out of his control. Because we used to Bhagavan being Ishvara, so he has opulences. But his opulences have disappeared. But all of these opulences are actually personalities. The Leela Shakti, Yogamaya Devi, is a personality. And the Leela Shakti has a manifestation, which is especially for Madhurya Rasa, and that is Brinda Devi. And that's why the Rasa Leela takes place in Vrindavan, the forest of Brinda Devi, where she is the Leela Shakti. So then Prem itself is another personality who can even make the Leela Shakti lose control over the Leela. And the Rasotsava, the festival of Ras itself, is another personality who reigns supreme in the Rasa, controlling everything. And that is why the Ras Leela is the crest jewel of all pastimes. So to illustrate how this Ras Leela is going on, Shukadev Goswami says, Rasutsavaha sampravrito gopi mandala manditaha yogeshvarena krishnena tayor madhye tasam madhye tayor tayoho tasam madhye tayor tayoho. It means after Krishna had reappeared in the Rasa Leela, and now the Rasa Leela is actually beginning in earnest. So Shukadev Goswami said, Rasutsavaha sampravrito. The Rasa Leela began. He doesn't say that Krishna and the gopis began Rasa Leela. He said the Rasa Leela began. That means the Rasa Utsav is a personality. And now she's manifesting this Leela. And how did this Rasotsava begin? Gopi Mandala Manditaha. The arena of the Ras was decorated with the Gopi Manda. All the gopis were arranged, dancing in a circle. And there, Krishna was there. Yogeshvarena Krishnena means that the Rasamanda is decorated by Krishna. Here is the instrumental case. Means that the doer of this Leela is Rasutsav herself, and Krishna is just an instrument. Krishna is not the doer of this Leela. The gopis are not the doer of this Leela. The Ras itself is the doer. Now, Yogeshwarena means Krishna is the Ishvara of yoga. But yoga has many meanings. And one of the meanings is method. The methodology of various arts. Singing, dancing, acting, poetry. There's a method to do all of these things. So that Krishna is Yogeshwara, it means that he's a master at all the methods of these various arts. So, Sukadev Goswami, he said, Tatra tisu subetabhiya Bhagavan Devaki Sutta Madhye Haimanam Maninam Haimanam Maha Marakato Yataha. It means that in the assembly of the gopis, Krishna looked Tatra Ati Susube. Not Shobha, beautiful, but Sushobha. No, Ati Sushobha. Extremely, more beautiful than ever before, being surrounded by the gopis. Because Krishna's beauty depends on his sweetness, and his sweetness depends on his adinata. And in the presence of the gopis, especially Radhika, then it's at the sampurna tamam, at Atyantika dinata. Like that. So how beautiful Krishna is in this Rasa Lila. And he's described that Tasam Maninam Madhye Maninam Hemainam Mahamarakatoyata. Krishna is like an emerald set in gold. So if an emerald is set in gold, it looks more beautiful. So the implication is that Krishna is bluish. But when he comes close to the golden complexion of the gopis, when gold mixes with blue becomes green, so Krishna is like an emerald. This is the meaning. Now, the previous verse that we said, Yogishvarena Krishnaena Tasam Madhye Dvayor Dvaya means Krishna in the midst of, there were two and two in the midst of the gopis, which means there were two Krishnas on either side of each gopi, and there were two gopis on either side of each Krishna. It can have both meanings. It can have both meanings. So that then you would imagine, you would think that there's a gopi, a Krishna, gopi, Krishna, gopi, Krishna, gopi, Krishna, gopi, Krishna, gopi, gopi, Krishna, like that, like all around. So many gopis, and for every gopi there's a Krishna, and they're in a sequence like that. Gold, green, gold, green, gold, green, gold, green. Huh? So it's not said the gopis became green, right? Krishna became green. That means their love, their effulgence is stronger than Krishna's love, right? The gopis were still golden, but Krishna was bluish, he became green. Huh? Right? So that indicates the supreme position of gopis. So, but the problem is this. Shukadev Goswami says, Tasam Madhye, Madhye means in the middle. So that if it's Krishna Gopi, Krishna Gopi, Krishna Gopi, then he's not in the middle, he'd be on the outside. So, but he's saying, Tasam Madhye, Krishna's in the middle. And he also says, Maha Marakata. That means an emerald, but Marakata is in the singular. In the singular. So there's one Krishna, and he's in the middle. And all the gopis around the outside. But it was Gopi Krishna, Gopi Krishna, Gopi Krishna. Because he's Yogeshwara, means he knows such a method of dancing, that he's in the middle with Radharani, and he knows a method to quickly jump, dance with one gopi, and jump back and be with Radharani. And then jump again and dance with another gopi, and then again be with Radharani. And he's going like that. And he's doing it so fast, like Ala Chakra, that every gopi thinks that he's dancing with me. But really he's with Radharani. And he knows that method of dancing. Why? Because Yogeshwarena Krishnena, he's the master of the methods of dancing. These different arts. So, this is one meaning. Now, Yoga Maya is controlling this whole pastime, especially the aspect of Yoga Maya which is Rasotsava herself, the personality of Rasa Lila. Now, how is Yoga Maya manifesting this Lila? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has demonstrated it through his Lila, otherwise we would just never understand. And we touched on this in the beginning of the Shravana festival. During Rath Yatra, there were 7 Sankirtan parties, 4 in front of Lord Jagannath, 1 on either side and 1 behind. So at that time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing and he was wandering from party to party, sometimes dancing in this party, sometimes dancing in that party. In the meantime, Prataparudra Maharaj was on the roof of his palace with Kashi Mishra and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So they were all watching Mahaprabhu's dancing in the Rath Yatra. However, before the Rath began to move, Prataparudra Maharaj, the king of Orissa, had taken a broom and was sweeping the path around Lord Jagannath's throne on the Rath cart. And when Mahaprabhu saw that the king had taken up a broom, now in Vedic culture, the only people who take up a broom are the sweeper caste. Right? So they take up a broom, they can sweep outside in the street. But the king had taken up a broom and was sweeping, humbling himself before the Lord. And that melted the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So though Mahaprabhu, he wanted to give mercy to Prataparudra Maharaj, but he couldn't openly meet with him because Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi. And Prabhu was a king, a very wealthy person. So in those days, the rule was that sannyasis never associated with kings or worldly persons, wealthy persons. So, Mahaprabhu, he wanted to give mercy to Prabhu Maharaj. He was eager to do that. But once the Rath Yatra began, he became absorbed in the mood of Radharani, very pathetic meeting of Radha and Krishna at Kurukshetra. So Mahaprabhu was absorbed in that. But the king was looking, and he said to Kashi Mishra, "Look, look! Mahaprabhu is dancing in all the 7 Sankirtan parties." And he was seeing Mahaprabhu was in every single Sankirtan party dancing. And Kashi Mishra is the king's guru, and he was looking and he couldn't see it. He only saw Mahaprabhu in one party. And he said to the king, "Oh, your good fortune knows no bounds." Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya also was talking with Kashi Mishra, and they were astonished. Really, Mahaprabhu has given a very special mercy to the king. Now, the question is this. When Mahaprabhu is down there dancing, did he think, I'm really eager to give mercy to Prabhu Maharaj, so let me expand into 7 forms. But I don't want others to, I'm not going to show it to Kashi Mishra and Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya, forget that. I'll give them mercy, but not right now. I just want to give the mercy to Prabhu Maharaj, so here goes, and manifested 7 forms, but hiding them from everyone else. Did he think like that? Never, no. So Krishnadas Kaviraj, to make this point, he gives a very beautiful payar. He said, Leela Veshi Prabhu Nahi Nij Anusandan Icha Jani Leela Shakti Kari Samardhan. It means Leela Veshi Prabhu, that Mahaprabhu was absorbed in Leela. How could Mahaprabhu be absorbed thinking, I'm Radharani, having this very heartbreaking, such touching meeting with Krishna at Kurukshetra, and at the same time think, oh, the king's on the roof over there, I've got to show him all my different forms. Right? So Mahaprabhu is Leela Vesh, is completely absorbed in the Leela. But Icha Jani, Leela Shakti, the Leela Shakti knows his desire. He wants to show some mercy to Prabhu Maharaj. So I'm not going to bother him. I'll just do that for him because I know what he wants. Right? So the Leela Shakti takes charge and makes Mahaprabhu expand into 7 forms. And each and every one of those forms is Leela Vesh, just absorbed in the mood of Radharani. And each form doesn't even know that the other forms exist. So it said, Leela Veshi Prabhu Nahi Nija Anusandan. Anusandan, remember we discussed. When Krishna shows his opulence towards the Brijbasis, they don't do Anusandan, they don't investigate. So even though Mahaprabhu is dancing in 7 different Sankirtan parties at the same time, Nahi Nija Anusandan is not investigating himself. Am I doing some special miracle here? He's not, he's just absorbed in relishing his Leela. And everything is being manifest by the Leela Shakti. So by this pastime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching the whole world what it means. Bhagavana Pitara Trishadut Fulamalika Viksharantam Manaschakre Yogamayam Pasrita. That Krishna took complete shelter of Yogamaya. That because seeing Mahaprabhu saw that Prabhu has bhakti, he wants to reciprocate. So seeing that all of the gopis have abandoned their homes, Yama, Bhajan, Durjaya, Geha, Srinkala, they've made the ultimate sacrifice of any village girl just to please him. So he wants to reciprocate with all of them. So Yogamaya Pashita, Yogamaya, Icha Jani, Leela Shakti Kari Samadhan. Samadhan means reconciles everything. So it's Yogamaya who makes him expand. And that he's able to dance and do Leela privately with each and every one of the gopis. The Leela Shakti is doing that. But Nahi Nija Anusandan. Krishna, when he's meeting with he's not thinking, I'm with another gopi there and another gopi there. How can he have a romantic meeting as just being like a cowherd boy? And and say, Napariyam nirva, I cannot repay you, even in the life of Brahma. Right? Because he's thinking, I'm a boy, a human being lives like 100 years, he's thinking, it's impossible for me to repay you in the millions of years, trillions of years of Lord Brahma's life. So he's speaking very romantically, like an ordinary boy. Then the rasa is there. So now you have this situation where Yogamaya herself is managing, or rather the Rasotsava, a manifestation of Yogamaya, Rasotsava, is manifesting this whole thing. Okay, now we're going to have millions of Krishnas. But then Radharani sees, Yogamaya allows her to see Krishna everywhere. The Rasotsava, sorry. That's also an aspect of yoga. The Rasotsava allows Radhika to see that Krishna is everywhere. And instead of doing the Anusandan, well, how did he do that? So there's Anusandan above, right? So she's just, that cheetah! Brutta! And she becomes upset with him. And she goes to leave the Rasalila. And then Krishna panics, right? But when Krishna panics, then the Rasotsava herself makes all the other forms of Krishna disappear. Now the Rasotsava didn't have to do that. Krishna could have followed Radharani in one form and stayed with all the others in another form. But it wasn't his conscious choice. The Leela Shakti is playing with all of them. You understand? The Leela Shakti is playing with everyone. The Leela Shakti is playing with Krishna, playing with Radhika, playing with the gopis. And that's why it said, Vishnu Thakur said, this Rasotsav, more than Krishna, more than the gopis, and more than Radhika, the Rasotsav itself is reign supreme. And that's why Radha Krishna, all the gopis are always dying. When can we have Rasalila? Because it's beyond all of them. It's playing with all of them like pawns in a game. To manifest rasa. It's amazing. You see? So when you see all of Krishna's Leela like this, you know, there are so many pastimes where see Krishna. Please. Please. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So sometimes Krishna makes an appointment to meet with Radhika. Right? So, but on the way he meets with Padma, the best friend of Chandravali. So then Padma takes Krishna on a little detour. Krishna thinks, oh, this won't take long. Just vilasatara. That means a very quick vilas. And then I still won't be late to meet with Radharani. So Krishna goes on a little detour, but he ends up getting somewhat entangled there. So then after some time he makes some excuse and excuses himself from the company of Chandravali, and then he goes to meet with Radhika. And now he's late and Radhika's upset with him. But actually, Krishna wants to reciprocate with Chandravali, with Shamala, with Bhadra and other gopis. And of course he wants to meet with Radhika as well. But if it were in his will, then he would just expand and he would go to Chandravali, go to Radhika. He would be on time for everyone. Right? He'd never be late for anyone because he'd just go to all of them. Huh? So the very fact that he's sometimes late and they get upset with him and this and that means, what? The Leela Shakti is in charge of all of this. It's the Leela Shakti making all of these problems and disturbances. So we can give another example. Nice example. How the Leela Shakti is actually playing with all the Brajvasis. It's a wonderful thing. Krishna is playing, the gopis are playing, Yashoda is playing. This is why it's called Leela. They're all playing. But Yogamaya Purnamasi is also playing. Prem itself is also playing, subordinating Krishna. Rasa itself, Rasotsava is playing. And they're all playing. And very often they don't know what the other one is doing, even. How this Braj is going on. So one night, Radha and Krishna, they enjoyed their beautiful pastimes in a kunj. And afterwards, Krishna fell asleep. And he was lying there, and Radhika was looking at the beauty of Krishna's face as he's sleeping. Just overwhelmed, just melting, completely melting in Prem for Krishna. So then Krishna, he began to speak in his sleep. Yesterday we told a similar pastime when he was with Chandravali, right? And when he was with Chandravali, then he spoke about Radhika, right? Now this is a similar pastime, but he's with Radhika this time. So Krishna's having a wonderful dream. And in his dream he says, "Oh Lakshman, when I smell the fragrance of the flowers coming from the Kadamba forest, then my heart is burning in separation from Janaki." Right? So you can understand that you know when you dream, things happen in your dreams. Why? Because of previous samskars. Right? Yeah. So when it said that the Manjaris don't even want to enjoy with Krishna even in their dreams, it means they're so pure they don't even have any samskars of amorous activities, because it doesn't even come in their dreams like that. So like in the example of an ordinary person, they may give up smoking or become celibate or whatever it is, but in their dream they smoke a cigarette, or in their dream they're not celibate, something like that. Why? Because of samskars, not only of this life but other lifetimes they come. So anyway, Krishna's having a dream because of his sanskars from a previous life, right? That is Lord Ramachandra is talking to his brother Lakshman, and in separation, Janaki means Sita, the daughter of Janaka Maharaj, right? So Krishna's lying there, and he says, "Oh Lakshman, when I smell the fragrance of the beautiful flowers from the Kadamba forest, then my heart is burning in separation from Janaki." And when Radharani heard, "My heart is burning in separation from Janaki," Radharani became jealous and thought, "Who is that gopi named Janaki? Who is he talking about? I don't know any gopi named Janaki. In Brajmanu, who is that?" So the inner meaning of this Leela is that the Leela Shakti was playing with Radha and Krishna. The Leela Shakti thought, if I manifest Krishna's Aishwarya, that he is Bhagavan, before Radharani, how will she react? So the Leela Shakti caused Krishna to have a dream that he was Lord Ramachandra and speak. So the Leela Shakti was doing this out of curiosity, what will Radharani do? So of course Radharani, because she's the ultimate limit of Anusandana Bhav, the complete absence of investigation into Krishna's Aishwarya. So then it said that Krishna's Aishwarya is like a Surya Kanta Mani. Surya Kanta Mani is a jewel that shines like the sun. But when the Leela Shakti tried to manifest the Surya Kanta Mani of Krishna's Aishwarya, then even though Surya Kanta Mani is very effulgent, if you throw it into the middle of the ocean, it just sinks to the bottom and then no one knows it's there. So the Leela Shakti tried to manifest the Surya Kanta Mani of Krishna's opulence, but it just sank to the bottom of the ocean of Radharani's Madhurya Bhav, never to be seen. So then afterwards, Radha and Krishna, in the morning, they return to their homes. So Krishna is sweet, but Krishna has many different heroic moods, right? So among his heroic moods, his best and sweetest mood is De Lalit. Vidagdo Navatarunya Parihasa Visharada Nischinto Dhira Lalita Sa Prayasi Vashaha. He's expert in the arts. Vidagda. Vidagda means, also Vi means fully or intensely, Dagda burnt. So he's Vidagda, he's burning in separation from Radhika. Or it means that, if you want to spice something, then you have to make a chance. So you put the ghee in the pan and you heat it, and then you put the spices in, and you have to cook the spices until they're practically burnt, right? They start to go black, and then the flavors really coming out. So Krishna's vidagda, that means fully burnt, that means he's fully seasoned. All the flavors are in him. In other words, the chaunch that makes him full of rasa. The spices are being, they're vidagda, they're burnt. So Krishna is the mature connoisseur of all the flavors of love. So he's vidagda. So vidagda navatarunya, he's a fresh youth. Parihasa visharda, very expert at laughing, at making everyone laugh and joking. Nischinta, he has not a care in the world. And Sapraya Prayasiva Saha, he's controlled by his beloveds. So when he's with Radharani and fully under her control, he's Adyantika Dinata, then that is the supreme limit of the Dila Nayak. So that's the sweetest, that's the most Madhurya. Our subject today is Aishwarya and Madhurya. So that's the most Madhurya of all of Krishna's moods or manifestation of sweetness. So though Krishna is the other heroes, he's Dhirdat, he can be really feisty like Bhimsen, he can be Dhirashant, he can be very peaceful like Yudhishthira Maharaj, he can be Dhirodata, very generous and powerful like Ramachandra, but those other moods, they're incidental. His actual nature, his swabhav is to be Dhir-Lalit. And those other heroic moods, they come depending on the circumstance of the pastimes. So yes, Krishna is sweetest in Vrindavan. He's sweetest when he's adheen to the love which is Parama Mahan, the love of Radhika. When he's a Dhir-Lalit Nayak of the highest degree. So that is the sweetest form of Shri Krishna. And this form is, even if Krishna is with Radhika, but the rasa is Swakiya, that they're married, then it will not be the sweetest of the sweet. Yeah? We're comparing the different levels of sweetness. So, when Radhika is not his Swakiya heroine, that means not his wife, but when she is his Paroda. Parakiya means that Krishna loves those who are not married to him. And Parakiya is of two types. Kanya, that is unmarried girls. So in Vedic culture, you can't have a loving relationship with an unmarried girl. It's a no-no. Right? And then that is called, one type of Parakiya is Kanya, unmarried girl, and the other type is called Paroda. So what does Paroda mean? It means para udha. Udha is the past perfect participle of the word, of the verbal root va. Va in Sanskrit. The verbal root va in Sanskrit means to carry. So you have vahan. You have the English word vehicle. It comes from the Sanskrit root va, means to carry. So the verbal root va, the past perfect participle of that is the udha. So to carry means that when a man marries a woman, now he has to carry the burden of all of her expenses for the rest of his life. That's why it's called vivaha. It's va to carry, right? So it's vivaha. Now, especially you have to carry all the expenses of that woman for the rest of your life. So it's called vivaha. Vaha. Carry. So Ba becomes Udha. Now Udha it has the prefix para here, means another. So Para Uda means Paroda. Para Uda becomes Paroda. Means that Krishna loves a heroine for whom the burden of responsibility for the whole life is someone else. Krishna doesn't, that's why he's Nistincha, he has no worries. So So, when Radhika is a Paroda Naika, and Krishna is Lalit Nayak, then the topmost Madhurya, sweetness is manifested. So after being together in the Kunj, then what happens to the Paroda Naikas? She has to go back to her in-laws, and Krishna has to go back to his home in Nandagaon. But Krishna himself is so bewildered by the sweetness of this loving relationship with his topmost Paroda Naika that when Krishna gets up in the morning, he doesn't take a bath. First he goes out and he milks the cows, then he comes back and takes a bath. So when Krishna, he gets up in the morning and he goes out to milk the cows, he's so bewildered by the sweetness of his Paroda Naika, Radhika, that he's so bewildered. Instead of going to milk a cow, he goes and tries to milk a bull. And all his friends are like, Gopal, what are you doing? And on the other side, Radharani is in Yavat, and she has to churn a pot of yogurt, but she's so bewildered in thinking in the sweetness of Krishna that she just puts the churning stick in an empty pot. And her mother-in-law and others, what are you doing? This mad in love for each other. But then Krishna he takes his bath and then he has to take breakfast. So on the request of Purnamasi Devi, so Radharani every morning she's going and she's cooking in the kitchen of Mother Yashoda. So Radharani is there and she's cooking. Sometimes Krishna comes at little distance. And so Radharani is in the kitchen. Mother Yashoda is there, Rohini is there, some Sakis, Manjaris are there, some of the Gurujan, the elders are there, Krishna is there. One little cowherd boy, little boy, like 5 years old, comes up to Krishna and says, "Oh Bhaiya, oh my brother, I think that someone stole your garland and your peacock feather and threw it in the forest. Because look what I found in the Kunj this morning. I found this garland and I found your peacock feather and it with a long black hair in it." So this little innocent boy is returning Krishna's peacock feather to him with a long black hair in it. And then in the presence of all the Gurujan, Radharani is cooking and she's like putting her face down. Oh no. And Krishna is looking down. Yes, Maya. Thank you, now run along. So the Madhurya, the sweetness of Madhurya Rasa, that is Parakya Rasa. Without this Paroda Bhav, without Parakya, this intense sweetness could not manifest. Why is Krishna and Radhika, why are they so embarrassed? Why are they afraid? Why have they become so sheepish? Right? Because they're afraid that their Gurujan and their seniors may suspect that they've done something against Dharma. Right? Does God have to follow Dharma? God doesn't have to follow any Dharma. Right? So only in the utter forgetfulness of his Bhagavata, though all the opulences are there, all Shaktis are his Shaktis, but he's given all power to his Shaktis to play independently, and he's just a pawn in the game. And as that, not controller of the Leela, but just as one of the instruments of the Leela, then Krishna, only that Krishna, the supreme pinnacle of all Madhurya, the dear Lalit Nayak, in Parakya Rasa, who is completely Atyantika Prema Dhinata, that Krishna himself. Someone may say, no, I don't accept this. Srila Vishwanath Thakur, Ujjwala Nilamani Ananda Chandrika Tika, he mentions that someone will say, no, how can Krishna just lose control? Or just hand over control to all these other entities? Right? That compromises his greatness. So Srila Vishwanath Thakur says, no, it doesn't compromise his greatness at all. Why? Because unless he does this, he cannot be the Akila Rasamrita Murti. He cannot relish the totality of all supremely sweet rasas. And the other reason why it does not diminish his greatness is this. If you say Krishna's handed over control to so many other personalities and now he's out of control, then he's just like a jiva. Right? Here we are, jivas in this world, and we're just, it's not in our control. When it's going to rain, and our tent gets wet, and when it's going to be freezing cold, or anything's going to, our own health, our own fortune, if we have money or don't have money, it's all out of our control. Right? So isn't Krishna just like a jiva? So no, the answer is this, that the jiva who is in Maya, being out of control, and Maya is in control, Maya is giving him suffering. But when Krishna hands over control to all these other entities, it actually increases his pleasure. So it doesn't diminish him. That is his supreme glory. Bale Vrindavan Vihari Lal